So you waited till the last minute. You waited till the last week of Destiny 2 Forsaken Season, Forsaken Year. You waited, you didn't do any prep. You're not ready for the new Shadowkeep in a week, and you're screwed. Well, today I'm going to try to help you fix that as much as possible. You can do any of the following last minute prep that you want, or you can do none of it and probably be perfectly fine. But I'm just going to go in some order, in the order of what I find is most important for normal players to get ready for Shadowkeep. If you're, for some reason, a hardcore player and you want raid day 1 but you haven't started prepping, that's fine too. We've got some great tips later to help you get the most prep out of this as you possibly can. And we're just going to go right into it. So, the number one thing, in my opinion, that you're going to want to have for Shadowkeep is your materials farm. If you don't have a lot of materials farmed, this is the one thing I think that all players should do, whether they're going to be wanting to do the raid day 1 or not, because materials are great for infusion. They're great for leveling up. They're great for leveling up armor for the energies. They're super important for your power leveling, because infusion is just a great way to help you boost your power levels and get power levels on the weapons you want. And it's going to get you playing with the stuff that you want faster, rather than having to wait for some reason because you don't have any materials. So, let's get right into it. The number one thing I suggest for players is to farm. You'll see here, I farmed 1,000 of every planetary material except for these ones, which I'm going to end up doing. For the phase glass, the dust light shards, the alkane dust, and the micro data lattice, and the simulation seeds, and the seraphite, you can actually purchase all of those from Spider. So every day I usually log on and I go straight to the Spider. So that I can pick up 2 enhancement cores and then pick up any of the planetary material that I need. So this is super useful for you in terms of getting these to 1,000. The reason I suggest 1,000 is because when you want to infuse a piece of armor, let me find one that needs infusion. This one needs infusion. So if I were to say I want to infuse this, you can see it costs me enhancement cores, shards, glimmer, and 25 of a planetary material. That's why you're going to want around 500, between 500 and 1,000 of these, so that you're not wasting time farming planetary materials to get the proper infusions that you want. For Etheric Spiral and Varian Bow, these two you can't purchase from the Spider. For the Varian Bow, I'll have it on screen now, but the best way to farm for Varian Bow is to run a specific lost sector in the back of the map, which will be on screen right now. For Etheric Spiral, the best thing to do is run around, and later we'll talk about bounties, and the best thing is you'll just run around and you'll farm ghost fragments on the Tangled Shore, and you'll earn ghost fragments and Etheric Spiral at the same time to get this farm this material and ghost fragments, so that you can unlock the wanted bounties, which are really good at XP, but we'll talk about the XP thing later. The other thing you could possibly do for Etheric Spiral is farm lost sectors, because those drop planetary materials on completion. The next thing is enhancement cores and mod components. These two are very important. You can see I have 880 enhancement cores and 300 mod components. However, we're going to even unlock me a few more of those really soon. So, ways you can do this. Once again, you can go to the Spider and purchase 2 a day. That'll cost you 30 legendary shards. So you'll need those. A great way to farm legendary shards is farming the menagerie or doing the AFK farm in a forge for planetary materials, and then turning those planetary materials into a vendor and deleting all the stuff you get. The other option is doing the menagerie, which we'll talk about later as well, because you can currently earn 4 drops guaranteed, and possibly a 5th, and then come Friday you'll be able to earn 5 drops. And obviously you can delete a bunch of those and get legendary shards. It's a great way to do that. However, so that's a great way to get legendary shards, but we're talking about mod components and enhancement cores. One of the best things for mod components and enhancement cores is Spider, as well as doing these Banshee bounties. So these two you may want to hold on to when you complete them, these weekly ones, because they give really good XP, but these daily ones here, they give you 2 mod components and 1 enhancement core. So if you did these across all 3 of your characters every day, you would be earning 9 a day, and 9 times 7 is 63. So that's really good for, that's already 63 enhancement cores, and times 2 of those for mod components. So 126 mod components. So that's really good. Another great way of getting mod components is coming to Ada1 here, and if you have excess gunsmith materials, which I definitely suggest keeping some. For example, I have 10,000 saved up in my vault, because when Shadowkeep launches, we'll get new mods and we can buy them from Banshee with the gunsmith materials. However, if you do have excess gunsmith materials and you do have excess legendary shards, you can come to Ada1 and buy a bunch of mod components like I'm doing here. The last thing to farm for in terms of materials is going to be your Glimmer. And so currently our cap is at 100,000 Glimmer, but when Shadowkeep launches, the cap is going to go up to 250,000, which is getting a lot of people to suspect that there's going to be things that are going to be really expensive for us in terms of Glimmer, and a lot more things we're going to want to purchase with Glimmer. So we want to save up Glimmer somehow, and the best way to do this is to either purchase a vehicle that only costs, either purchase an exotic vehicle like the Other Side Sparrow, or purchase an exotic ship like 1,000 Wings. There's a couple of other options. If we just go into our collections, you go to the collections, vehicles, you can see Season 3. See how it costs me Glimmer and Legendary Shards here, whereas this one costs Bright Dust? Try and find one that costs Glimmer and Legendary Shards, and purchase a bunch of those when you have max Glimmer, and then just store them in your vault. The reason we're doing this is because when you dismantle these, they dismantle for a shit ton of Glimmer. So let's just go really quickly and dismantle this one really fast. Let's see what happens. You'll see right there we got 5k Glimmer off of that one ship. So although we're losing some shards and some Glimmer in the long run, what we're doing is creating a stockpile of Glimmer, so that when we play Shadowkeep and we start leveling stuff up and spending a whole bunch of our materials and stuff like that, we won't come across an issue where we're out of Glimmer, hopefully. So just a quick recap of all the material farming. For legendary shards, the best way to do this is play the game, AFK farm by dropping your power level down to below, around 400 or below, going into a forge and then just standing around AFK in the forge. This will send planetary materials to your postmaster, and you can turn these into the appropriate planet vendor. So in terms of Dustlight shards, I would turn them into Devrim K. And by doing that, I'm going to get a bunch of legendaries that I can delete for legendary shards. If you don't like AFK farming, for example, the other thing you can do is go into the Menagerie, where you're guaranteed 4 to 5 legendaries, and then later this week you'll be guaranteed 5 or 6. You can then delete all the excess ones that roll with bad rolls or that you don't like, and then that's a great way to farm excess legendary shards. With those legendary shards, you'll be purchasing a bunch of planetary materials from the Spider, and then for Berrien Bough and Etheric Seed, you're going to be running around on the Dreaming City and Tangled Shore respectively to earn the planetary materials you need by either farming lost sectors or farming patrols, which again we'll talk about really soon. For enhancement cores and mod components, the best way to get enhancement cores again is to go to the Spider and purchase 2 a day. That'll cost you 30 legendary shards, and then also to go to Banshee and do his daily bounties, which will get you 3 legendary shards per character, so that's up to 3 enhancement cores per character. That'll get you up to 9 enhancement cores a day, as well as it'll get you 18 mod components. Another great way of getting mod components is, so in Shadowkeep, the weapon mods in the game are going to be converted to single use, but you'll never lose it. So if you have like one counterbalance mod, it'll get transferred into this new system where you'll always have a counterbalance mod available to you and you'll never run out. So in that case, for example, I can delete my extra counterbalance mods. Just make sure that you have one of every weapon mod before Shadowkeep launches, because for example, if I only had, let's say I only had one Icarus grip and it was on my shotgun, then it wouldn't count and I would have to find another Icarus grip, and then when I found that Icarus grip, I would have an Icarus grip unlocked forever for all of my guns. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about deleting some of these mods. Make sure you always have one of a certain mod. But that's it for the materials. The next thing, which I think every player should do, is dealing with Eververse. Currently, when let's say we decrypt this and we go to my ghost and delete it, we got 100 break dust. When Shadowkeep launches, when we delete those, we'll get legendary shards instead. And then as well, when we go to the collection system, we'll be purchasing, let's go vehicles for example, we'll be purchasing for legendary shards and glimmer instead of break dust. So right now you want to stock up on a lot of break dust in order to have it so that you can purchase items from Eververse when that comes out, because when you're deleting items, you'll no longer get break dust. You'll no longer get break dust, and you'll need to farm it from bounties. Some great ways of doing this are deleting shaders that come from Eververse, so like Celestial Dome. You can delete these either individually. However, if you just hop over to Raoul here, he'll delete them in sets of 5. Way better, way more efficient of your time, and it's a great way to farm up some bright dust. You can see we just got 50 from deleting one 5 stack of shaders that come from Eververse. The other things you're going to want to delete, for example, are ghost shells that are from Eververse. You'll get bright dust for it, obviously, as well as deleting armor from Eververse, because that armor is all going to get put into a new transmog system for Armor 2.0 and act as universal ornaments as long as you owned it at one point. So those are great things to delete for your bright dust. Again, vehicles, ghosts, just make sure you can wait till the last day even. For example, if you don't know if you're going to get a new gun and want to put a cool shader on it, you can wait till the last day. Just remember to delete all of your shaders and all of your other stuff that comes from Eververse so that you can stockpile bright dust before the new season launches and you can purchase new items with bright dust. The second to last thing you're going to want to do, and this is completely up to you because you'll be able to do this later, however I highly recommend, you can go to the menagerie again and you can farm guns that you want. So weapons like Austringer, Beloved, any Dustrock Blues, Imperial Decree, a lot of different shotguns, a lot of different hand cannons, and any kind of PvP weapon or PvE weapon you want prior to Shadowkeep's launch, you're going to want to run the menagerie right now, because the menagerie will be dropping the menagerie will be dropping 4 to 5 weapons now and 5 to 6 when Friday comes. So this is really, really good in terms of earning legendary shards and earning the guns you want specifically. One of the guns I'm using right now, I don't have it with me, but one of the guns that I'm going to be carrying into Shadowkeep is an Austringer that has Rampage and Outlaw on it, making it a really good hand cannon, similar to my Midnight Coup, but it has a slightly lower fire rate and does more damage. The other thing you might want to do this week is farm the Reckoning. So Reckoning right now, if you do tier 2, you can farm Spare Rations, which can both be a great PvE and PvP hand cannon depending on the rolls you earn for them. I would be looking out for damage enhancing perks like Rampage, Swashbuckler, and Multi-Kill Clip for things like your PvE roll, and then for PvP I would be looking for Rapid Hit and then Rangefinder or something like Kill Clip or Rampage or Swashbuckler as well. So these are all great things, those are all great perks that you can roll on a Spare Rations, which is a top tier PvP and possibly PvE hand cannon that you can currently farm. I would definitely just run tier 2, don't run tier 3s, and you can definitely get the gun and hopefully you get a really good roll. The last thing is Bounty XP. So with the Shadowkeep, we're getting a new Battle Pass, and at level 7 of that Battle Pass, we're unlocking the Gatelord Artifact, and both of these use XP to level up. So to get your Battle Pass tiers leveled up, you earn XP, as well as to get the Gatelord artifact leveled up so you get access to really cool mods. For example, one that makes you lose half your super on a finishing blow, but when you kill that enemy with the finishing blow, you also drop power ammo for your entire team. To level these things up, we're going to be using XP, which is why we're farming bounties here. The one thing I suggest with bounties is make sure none of your bounties drop powerful gear, which the reason we're at the spider right now is because one of the best bounties to farm like this for this setup, for this XP, is our wanted bounties. So if we go over to spider, all of these wanted bounties here are going to be really good for XP, and they only give legendary gear, they don't give powerful drops. So you're guaranteeing that you're not going to miss any powerful drops when Shadowkeep launches, and you have like a Gambit weekly prime bounty or something like that. Also, this is where you buy your enhancement cores as well as your planetary materials. There's only 4, so you're going to have to come back consistently to make sure that you get all the planetary materials he sells. So back to the bounties. Some of the bounties I recommend. Wanted bounties are definitely a number 1. Gambit legendary gear bounties, which are dailies from the Drifter, definitely recommend those. These tag team bounties, these clan bounties that give 2000 XP, really good, really easy. I also recommend doing some of these Dreaming City ones, specifically do 7 or fewer. That way you have these bounties stored up for when Shadowkeep launches, and if Petra's like weekly do 8 bounties for her stays, you'll have some bounties already saved up for it. The reason I have bounties placed at the end here is because honestly, once Shadowkeep launches and people turn these in, that's it basically. They'll have a few more power levels because when you level up the artifact you get power levels, but you get artificial power levels, which means that they affect the way your power number looks, but they actually don't help your drops any better. So if you're at 900 but your artifact is giving you 20 more powers, your drop is still only going to be around 901, 902, or a little bit higher. It's not going to be above 920. So just keep this in mind. The bounties thing is for really hardcore players. I guarantee that if you play consistently, you're going to level up your artifact and hit battle pit past tier 100. This is just something that you can do in the meantime if you have some spare time in this last week. And that's all. Bounties, planetary materials are number 1. That way you're not farming planetary materials during a new DLC. And 100% make sure you delete all of your Eververse items. Otherwise, that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully I did this in a concise manner. I definitely realized that it's a little long. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.